Good morning. Let us begin with the opening recitations. If you have the pecha, that is starting on page 73. If you have the PDF, we start on page 1. Let's make sure we are recording on Zoom. Thank you. All Mother sentient beings, limitless as the sky, especially those enemies who hate me, those who harm me, and those who create obstacles on my path, the liberation and all-knowingness. May they experience happiness and be separated from suffering. I will quickly establish them of the most perfect and precious Bodhi. All Mother sentient beings, limitless as the sky, those enemies who hate me, obstructors who harm me, and those who create obstacles on my path, liberation and all-knowingness. May they experience happiness and be separated from suffering. I will quickly establish them of the most perfect and precious Bodhi. All Mother sentient beings, especially those enemies who hate me, obstructors who harm me, who create obstacles on my path, the liberation and all-knowingness. May they experience happiness from suffering. I will quickly establish them in the state of the most perfect Bodhi. Thus, until I achieve Buddha, I engage in virtuous deeds with body, speech, and mind. Until death, I engage in virtuous deeds with body, speech, and mind. From now until this time tomorrow, I engage in virtuous deeds with body, speech, and mind. In the booklet PDF, page 5. In the Pecha, page 677. Page 77 in this red traditional text. In the PDF is page 5, thereabouts, 5, 6. In the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, most excellent, I take refuge until Bodhi is reached. Of generosity and other perfections, may I attain Buddhahood for the sake of all. In the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, most excellent, I take refuge. By the merit of generosity and other perfections, may I attain Buddhahood. Wandering beings in the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, most excellent, until Bodhi is reached by the merit of generosity and other perfections. For the sake of all wandering beings, may all mother sentient beings, limitless as happiness and the causes of happiness, may they be liberated from suffering. May they never be separated from the happiness that is free from sorrow. In equanimity, free from the bias of attachment. May all mother sentient beings, limitless as the sky, have happiness. Causes of happiness, may they be liberated from suffering, and the causes of suffering, may they never be separated from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from the bias of attachment. May all mother sentient beings, limitless as the sky, causes of happiness, may they be liberated from suffering, and the causes of suffering, may they never be separated from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from the bias of attachment. Version Bhajra Samaja Bhajra Samaja Bhajra Samaja. Protectors of all sentient beings without exceptions, deities who vanquish the ruthless hordes, knowers of everything as it is, Bhagavans and your retinues, come here. Argyam Paryam Pushpe Dhupe Aloke Gende Nivede Shapta Praticha Soha. This ground sprinkled with scented waters, adorned with the supreme mountain, four continents, sun and moon, I hold in mind and offer it. May all wandering beings experience such a pure realm, whatever slight virtue through prostrating, offering, confessing, rejoicing, requesting, and beseeching, dedicate to complete Bodhi. Namo to the Guru, the complete purity, nominal existence. I make offerings to you who manifest in the ground of phenomenal existence. For the total liberation of the three realms, grant your blessings of dredging samsara from Lord, wish fulfilling gem, ornament of my crown, beyond world and expression, victorious mind, endowed with the five superior primordial wisdoms, epitome of love, the one with kindness. Wandering beings, I supplicate you in the innate state of my mind. Bless me of suchness, grant your blessings for realizing this primordially birthless. As the Dharmakaya beyond thoughts to the Bhagavan, the Tathagata, the completely perfect, fully awakened one, perfect in knowledge and good conduct, gone to bliss, knower of the worlds, tamer of beings, charioteer, passable one, teacher of gods and humans, the supreme, comparable king of the Shakyas, who is free from the minute stains. At your feet I pay homage with devotion. When you were born supreme, humans, you pace out 7 steps on this great earth and declared homage to you who was wise even then, possessing a pure body, excellent supreme form, an ocean of wisdom, a mountain of gold, fame throughout the 3 worlds. Supreme protector with the supreme marks and a face like the stainless moon, homage to you, golden colored one, free from stains, there is none like you. Homage to you, incomparably wise one, supreme among humans, and tamer of beings, who severs the all enmeshing fetters, who with senses pacified is skillful. Homage to you, who dwelt at Shravasti, you protector, kindness, all-knowing teacher, perfect one, basis of oceans of merit and qualities. The Tathagata, purity, the cause of freedom from attachments, virtue. This alone is the sublime ultimate reality. Having been liberated, you show the path to liberation. Moral precepts, you are a field of perfect qualities. Homage to the sublime Sangha.
Hello. yola denbe Kyobpa jom dende dangin tawa tawdo nenga ye lagin name debu kones tawe monda yola go janze omen chogi enge bodane dozum sangye gunge ngo ye ranzen chogo ngo so donze tawe lame jabla go janze deme waza togi gengo do mande sheje ngo bonje lawa tamje sibo kungen chogi nyamen de ungren jengo janze. Okay, good morning. Good morning. It's okay? Okay. Why we are here? Sometimes it is very important, no? Even like I'm here, why I am here, why you are here. It is quite very important to think about. Of course, why you come here? Are you come with the expectation? That also is quite questionable, you know. If you come with big expectation, then it's also something. If you don't learn something, you come with the expectation that might you will be disappointed, you know. So therefore, the Dharma always taught us to live in the presence without any expectation. That's very important, actually. I love that concept of the Buddha's teaching. So if we have some kind of expectation for any occasions, to learn something, to gain something. If I do this one, then I gain something. If we have this kind of something, then we already kind of went into wrong directions, you know. So therefore, whatever we do, it is very important that we always have to work with without having any kind of strong expectation. Ultimately, we all, what we want actually, basically, what we want, I think is quite obvious, no? We want happiness, we want peace, we want prosperity. Nobody wants suffering. I think, therefore, I think why we are here, isn't it? I think I'm also here, you all are here to want to learn something, to gain something. And then also we all are looking for something, the kind of something, the peace and harmony. I think that's the kind of something, the fundamental that we all are looking for. So therefore, as I mentioned actually also yesterday, it is very important that all these things are, we have to develop within ourselves that all kind of the inner value of such as happiness and peace and all of these things we have to find out within ourselves, not something from outside. So therefore, I mean, particularly, I'm sure many of you are here are, I think, working for the center voluntarily. I'm sure some of you might be secretary or cashier or whatsoever, any kind of post. I'm sure you're working as a volunteer basis for this center, or not only this center, for any other organizations, you know. So in that case, actually, if I just always try my best to, whenever I work in the kind of the monastery or any kind of organization, I always try, this is my way of purification. This is my way of accumulation of merit. Or if you are kind of Buddhist practitioner, we always think about the guru and parents are one of the most important people on this planet. So this is my way of serving back to my parents. This is serving back to my, serving for my guru, you know. So if we have this kind of determination, this kind of commitment, whenever we do, without having some kind of expectation out of whatever you do, and then you can carry on such a noble activity for a long period of time, without losing any kind of your confidence, without losing any kind of hope. You can, otherwise, if we have some kind of expectation, and then of course nowadays, I don't know here in the West, the most I know in the Asian country actually, I think more or less, I think everywhere is same actually. We all are basically all are human beings, and so people are very difficult to appreciate what they do. If there's something mistake, and then always they try to point out finger, oh, this is the wrong, But the people, they don't see the quality, what other person is doing over the years, but they always try to point out, what he did, small things, So therefore, I always very inspired by the Jigten Sumgon, that I actually wrote that quotation at Kagyu College, just man entrance the door, when I was the principal of the Kagyu College. The Jigten Sumgon, he said that, I love that quotation. I don't know whether Tibetan, he said that, Jildar Bungai Kebai, Chimetogi Dangla Manuba, Nang Dangzilana Kanla Portijin Tube, Sanam Gitove Lunga, Isumla, Nebekuna, Mazibo Yondam Toma number 2. That's actually the Tibetan quotation that what Jigten Sumgon said. The meaning is that the expert bees, bee, the bee, the birds, not but the bees inside. The expert bee, what they want is they want honey from the flowers. Without humming to the petals, they know which flower has good honey, more the sweet nectar, They know the good nectar. They know actually. They are very expert. They are very smart actually, Although we see the little insects have no brain or no wisdom, but they are very expert. They know which flower has a more kind of like sweetie things there, So they know that what kinds of the flowers has a more nectar, and without humming to the petals, they could hum actually, without humming to the petals, and just take the nectar or honey whatsoever from the flowers and flew away. Similar to that way, so the Jigten Sumgon said, all we the human beings, all we the disciples of the Buddha, we always try to learn something from others. Basically, we no need to look for their faults. Actually, we all, as we all are human beings, more or less, we have all kinds of faults, So therefore, without looking at the faults of the others or the teachers or whoever, what we want is we want the nectar. The insects need the nectar. Doesn't matter the petal looks like beautiful or not. What kind of color doesn't matter. What kind of shade doesn't matter. It's need the nectar. That's what they want, So similar to that way, we all human beings, what we want to learn from the teacher is that the Dharma. Since the teachers already study and also been practiced for all the years, and then so we just try to get the Dharma as a nectar, and we no need to look. That is the really I like very much, because that way then really we can learn something, So even we try to examine, try to analyze this, what kind of characteristic, what he doing, what she doing, what. I think that's just waste of time. Actually, I know that in the Western culture they don't care about other. One of my student, actually, one Kyobpa who lives here, and I don't want to mention, he told me, I'm very happy here in the West, he said. I said, why? Because people don't judge you. He said people don't care about you, whatever you do. So here in the Western, we have a full freedom, because in Asian culture, they always inspect, they always try to look what he is doing, what she is doing. So like a little bit insecure, or we call it Tibetan call it like jidok, but this no reason, but still, try to, what do you do? They don't ask here in the culture, what do you do, unless you are very close friend, something, In culture, they not exist something, what do you do? Why you want to ask, actually, basically, what do you want to know what I'm doing? this is not your business, So he told me like that, I'm so happy here because the people don't judge you. People don't asking always, what are you doing? I'm very happy, what kind of clothes I'm wearing, what kind of food I'm eating. Nobody cared about me. I like that actually. So that was really exactly it means as to what Jigten Songkhwan says, What you want is what you want actually. Basically, why you come in the center? You want to learn something. Don't care about what kind of display there here is. So I'm sure you are doing like that. So that's actually more we, the Asian people, actually need to learn this one from the Western culture actually. So we are too much, we are too much actually try to learn something like this way. So therefore, it is very important that so if we spend our time like this way without having any kind of expectation and just only looking for some good quality, I think that is then there. And then without losing, so if we have some kind of expectation to gain something out of your work, and then if you don't fulfill your wishes, what you expect something, and then the one day you will lose your kind of your hope, and then what you have been working for such a noble cause, then you will regret it about that, and that is something big mistake in our life. So therefore, we always try to work for thinking that this is my way of accumulation of merit. This is the way of my purification. If you have such a commitment, then it will inspire. No matter what people talks about you, no, doesn't matter what people whether they appreciate to you or not whatever you are doing. So still you can inspire more to do. That's what I just sharing the personal experience. And then also sometimes I always think like that. That's also is very useful for you also, Sometimes also I think that when we work in the kind of any society, sometimes also we get not really kind of gossiping, that people like to make a gossiping, and then also we could hear so many things, and sometimes also we could hear some criticism from others. Sometimes maybe unnecessarily might the people scold you or something whatsoever. And even though you are putting lots of effort doing something good, but sometimes also I try to think like this way, It's happened to me also sometimes when we work voluntarily in the monastery, and sometimes still instead of appreciation, people like to criticize you. And then I'm always thinking like, who am I in front of Buddha? Even the Buddha also received lots of kind of criticism. People also try to even harm to Buddha. Even people try to kill Buddha. And also it's happened to great yogi Milarepa. People try to kill Milarepa. People searching for Milarepa where he is. So when we want to kill Milarepa, he's such a great yogi. All these kind of things that happen to those great beings, such as Buddha, such as Bodhisattva and great yogi Milarepa. Who am I in front of them? I always try to think like that. It really makes a big difference in our life. Ultimately, what we want is we want happiness. We want peace. So that's actually what all of these things actually we have to try to think about the Dharma. So therefore, of course, we always talk about the procedures of the Dharma. Is that first we have to listen to the Dharma, which Tibetan we call Thoba. First, we have to have certain understanding, we have to, as I mentioned yesterday, one should not try to learn everything from AI. Nowadays actually AI is very smart, but still we have to learn something from the teacher. We have to listening. Saying that without listening, without hearing to the Dharma teaching, you cannot put into your practices. Saying that without fingers, you cannot climb on the mountain. In order to climb on the rock or mountain, you have to have fingers to climb there. So similar to that way, first step is that you have to learn, you have to listen to the Dharma, and then the second step is that then you have to examine, or you have to contemplate about that. You have to think, what does it mean, that one? So then the third level is that you have to try to implement try to practice. So Tibetan we go Kyobpa, Samba, Gompa. All of these things are very important to go step by step, Then really we can learn something, then we can also bring some changes in our mind. So if we manage to bring some changes in our mind through the Dharma practices, through the listening, through the contemplation, through practice, that is the most important, that what we want actually. Otherwise, just learning something, if we cannot bring any changes, if we cannot bring any kind of benefits in our daily life, then what's the means of Dharma actually? So therefore, that's, I just want to share something before because although we don't have much time actually. So the Lord Rinpoche asked me to finish now this morning session, Gongshik and the Tenging transmission. And then in the afternoon we have the talk, and after talk, then if we have enough time, then also I'm going to read some couple of the texts, the reading transmission, my little bit short of explanation or something. So
I want to say very quickly. So when Rinpoche say, don't have so much expectations, with the things that you do, the plans that you have. Please understand, you might think, I think some of you might think, oh yes, Rinpoche, you are a monk, and you have all these ideas about how simple his life is, how easy it is. I can tell you, everything that you're involved in, add all of us together, it's about the same amount of things that Rinpoche is involved in. Just this morning, you cannot imagine how many messages of what kinds have asking for his attention. We need to reforest this piece of land that His Holiness says should be planted with cherries. We're not able to source these cherry plants. Can you find a way? We in the monastery, this roof is leaking. We are not able to find a contractor. It's just, that's also his reality. So he's not talking from nowhere. He's not like living somewhere up in the clouds giving you advice. Yeah, the only difference is he doesn't have a wife and he doesn't have kids. Everything else, his responsibilities exceed all of us. Yeah, he makes plans. He has projects to fulfill. He has monks to feed. There's nuns to take care of. So again, don't get the wrong message, Oh, Rinpoche said I should just relax. Sometimes we make this mistake, we think, oh, yeah, of course you can say like this, You don't have much things to worry about. You have no idea how many things he has to worry about.
Actually, yes, you're right. Actually, I'm looking for, in this, the Jigten Sumgon dedication. No, I'm looking actually, that is the one of my very kind of heart-touching, the words that Jigten Sumgon, the dedication prayer. But I'm actually, the dedication is here. But I don't know the whether part of that, the Chiwala Gavadang says. So we have to die with happily, joyfully. Is this there? That part is missing actually. Dedication is there. That part is, I thought is, yeah. I think one part is missing, which looks like. Important part is missing, looks like. If I'm not mistaken. I think that one is missing. Yes, that part is missing actually. That's always I'm very much inspired by the Jigten Sumgon this, but please, I think it looks like missing.
Yes, in between.
Yeah, somewhere. So in this dedication, that's the Jigten Sumgon dedication prayer. This one. There's some part is missing. I always share whenever I go. I always share, and I always. The Jigten Sumgon said that part is that if you manage to die happily, joyfully, without having any regrets, That is that, then it's really you fulfill your all life, If somebody asks that how I can fulfill my life, like how I can spend my life in a meaningful way, if somebody asks, I would suggest that is the what Jigten Sumgun says, So for that, as I mentioned earlier, or whatever I said earlier, all are related to this matter, So ultimately, we are monk or nuns or lay community, whatever as a we human being. So we all have some kind of responsibility that we all have to work something good, and that brings some kind of inner peace, So I feel always like that. I'm sure many of you do. When we do something good thing, so we always feel some kind of satisfaction, Oh, I managed to done something, Even though whether other people appreciate or not, but still the satisfaction is there in your mind. That is the actually kind of peace of mind, That's a kind of peace of happiness. So therefore, Jigten Sumgun, he said that ultimately we all have to, sooner or later, we have to end up our life. We have to live on this planet. No one have a right to stay here permanently. Do we? Nobody, billionaires whatsoever, nobody escape from dying, Or maybe we can live more, 100 years, maybe more, little more. So therefore, Jigten Sumgun said that if you manage to end up your life happily, without having any regrets, joyfully, I like that word, I think that part is missing. That part is missing. Very important part is missing. And then also he said that dying with very clear mind, also, with the luminosity. So therefore, the great realization master, when they pass away, usually we call he or she was in a tukdam. After pass away for certain days, they just stay in the meditation postures, We call it in the state of clear light, yeah? Osal. So if you manage to die in the clear, so that was the Jigten Sumgun said, So they just, I'm sure everybody knows something like that, but sometimes also we have to reflecting on those meanings again and again. And not only that one, as I mentioned yesterday, really whenever you have a time, I think it is very good always in the wake up in the morning, just reflecting on the importance of that precious human life, how I'm so fortunate that I obtained precious human life. And then also maybe 2 minutes you can just reflecting on the impermanent. Thinking about the impermanent, it will become, our mind become a really flexible, Otherwise our mind cannot accept, So there are so many things that are happening in our life every day, every single maybe hours. So we are facing so many different things, And then so therefore, whatever things are happening in our life, sometimes if something happening very good, for us very easy to accept, Then when something is happening wrong, then difficult to accept. That started to raise kind of stress or kind of the mental disease or comfort. I'm not really comfortable in life. So therefore, the advantage of the learning Dharma, the knowing the Dharma is that these are the things that if we manage to bring kind of balancing our life through using all these kind of tools. So therefore, I strongly would like to advise, so whenever we have time, of course the chanting, prayers, all of these things are very important. Try to just reflecting on the 4 foundation for maybe each of the topic, maybe 2 minutes. It's really, can bring us some changes in our life, Particularly the impermanent. Because in life, sometimes we lose job, sometimes we gain job, sometimes we lost somebody in our family members, our close friend, our relatives, related to so many things that causing us kind of insecure, that causing us some kind of problems. So therefore, I always, one of my, the exemplary one person, the Ngawan Sering, you heard about him, yeah? Now he passed away, one of my close friend, he spent his whole life in Germany. He was a very early 70s, one of the translator who translated many of our Drikung books in Germany in English. So only the Khenchen Konjo Gyaltsen Rinpoche and the Ngawang Sering. These 2 persons are actually those, there's only kind of who can translate our Drikung books. He's a very kind person. And then later on, he got some health issue, and His Holiness looked after him, and then he stayed our monastery for some years. But he has very big health issue. He cannot eat. Somebody has to feed him. He cannot go to bathroom. Somebody has to carry bag to go to washroom. That kind of very difficult situation for his life, But he always laughing and smiling. Whenever I enter his room, ha 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 ha. He's just laughing, He always smiling, Then one day I asked him, because actually when he look his the physical situation, it's a really difficult situation. We can't imagine, if we cannot eat, if we cannot go to bathroom, if we cannot then wash your clothes and everything, then everything depends on somebody else. How you feel, when it comes to practically reality on, I think for my case also might be difficult for, but he always happy, always happy. Then one day I asked him, don't you have any kind of suffering? Don't you feel very sad about that, your health issue? He laughed. He said, no, not at all, I said, why? Then what he answered to me is that if my health is very good conditions, might be I was in a Europe country, I might be very busy with so many other things, busy with my family members and so many things. Might I don't get a chance to read all these holy books, He always liked to read books, He always, whatever he find a book, I think he must read hundreds of books, He liked to read books, and then also each of the books he always put notes, That's his hobby. He told me like that, If I had not this kind of health issue, might I will be busy with so many other things so that I don't get the opportunity to read all these holy books, Can you imagine? So I'm so happy about that. You see, he take that kind of like his illness is as an advantage of reading the book, you see. It's not easy to put in the practical level, So therefore he managed, even though his health is such a this kind of stage, but he bring as a kind of good condition way. That's a kind of one of the person exemplary in my life, I really admire this person, And then how he died was something very miracle happened. That time I was in also my hometown monastery. We invited His Holiness. He came there to see, of course, his health condition is worse. And then Holiness just gave him a blessing just at the car park area. Of course, he cannot walk out there. And then next day, His Holiness was doing the Poa, another village. At that time, that moment, then he passed away. That's next day, while Holiness was doing the Poa time. You see, that is what I want to give a message. That's the spirit of Dharma. If we really manage to think about the Dharma, if we bring the Dharma, can implement in our life, so then our mind can be really always can remain in the happy. Although doesn't matter what things are happening around us. So therefore, in the Bodhisattva, the Garchen Rinpoche's, his entire life, the key message is that always giving the small booklet of 37 Bodhisattva practices, because they are really essential, the meanings are there, Even Bodhisattva become a richest in the world, Bodhisattva won't feel I'm a richest one. He don't feel any proud about that. If the Bodhisattva become the poorest in the world, yet he don't feel I'm the poorest one. Because the Bodhisattva know all of these kind of things are just like an illusion. It's not really exists out there very essential way. At the end, when we live on this planet, everything we have to leave behind. So those things are actually, of course, I'm not saying that I'm a very great practitioner in this field, but little bit sometimes when we think like that way. So how much I managed to, even like I think I'm the person who worked in the monastery for one of the longest period of time. Sometimes very facing difficult situation, difficult time as we live all as a human society. And then the thinking, reflecting about these dharma things are very much great, brings a lot of impact, in our life. So therefore just, I don't know, does it make sense? Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so now I think time is flying. I better to read now. Okay, now we just finished yesterday the Gongchik, the text till the 14. So when I said that Gongchik is very kind of unique, Gongchik is very something. As if then, when we see the Gongchik is something very unique, apart from all others, Master, Sakya, Nyingma, Giluk, it does not mean that the Jigten Sumgon, he totally criticized other views. We have to understand very clearly. I just hear the Chang'an Sherab Jungne's quote that what Jigten Sumgon, he always saying is that, is the Tibetan, I also like to read the Tibetan one as well. Choje Shangana, so Choje is the Jigten Sumgon, Sui Cholayang Mimu, Kanglayang Mabangbe Cholatembe Yangsa Me. So the Jigten Sumgon, the Chang'an Sherab Jungne quote that the Jigten Sumgon, the message is that do not criticize anyone's teaching. The Jigten Sumgon key message, saying that, oh, this is the Gelugpa's teaching. This is the Sakyapa. Don't criticize. That's a very important meaning is there. When we look in the Gongchik saying that, oh, Jigten Sumgon is something saying everything different from other master, it does not mean that he is criticizing other teachings, He paid respect to others, actually. He paid respect to all others teaching, other teaching. So therefore he's saying that do not kind of like criticize or disgrace other teachings, but not rejecting anything without rejecting, There is no danger of falling away from the Dharma. If you're saying this is the good, this is the bad, his view is good, that his view is not good, if you have that kind of fixation in your mind, if you say like that, there is a very danger of falling away of the Dharma. Tibetan we call chopong, chopo, you are falling away Dharma, you are accumulating big negative karma. That criticism of the Dharma is one of the big negative karma actually. So therefore he is saying that do not criticize anyone teaching by not rejecting anything. There's no danger of falling away from the Dharma. I like that one, And then another very important thing is that Jigten Sumgon said, the Tibetan, he said that Sangye Gisho Kangi Jesoyang Drang Chikyang Shato Meba Migawara Nyamsulangna Pachoyins. That is one meaning. Follow the whatever teachings of the Buddha there are. If you are practice them all without leaving even single one aside and without contradiction, that is the authentic the Dharma. Jigten Sumgon says, follow whatever teachings of the Buddha there are, without criticizing again. Oh, this is the if you say that, oh, this is the Tantrayana teaching, oh, that only can be practiced by those Tantras, so one should not, we don't need to practice. Oh, this is a Sutarayana. If you try to say, without seeing kind of like the proper way, that is also another, we are accumulating lots of negative karma. So there, whatever the Buddha teaching, Sutarayana, Tantrayana, Theravada, the three defensive vows, three vehicles, whatsoever, so follow whatever teachings are there of the Buddha. If the teachings are taught by the Buddha, no matter whatever, Mahayana, Hinayana, Vajrayana, whatever are, we have to follow whatever teachings of the Buddha there are. If you practice them all without leaving even a single one side, I think I feel like, as I mentioned yesterday, those days maybe there are always have some kind of big argument between maybe the practitioner side, the Kyobpa, Nyingma, Pama, oh, we are the great practitioner. We no need to learn all the Sutarayana things. We no need to learn all these kind of philosophical things. The practice is only sufficient, saying like that. Or maybe other side who are very much involved in the Sutarayana, learning all these kind of logic, pramana and things, saying that, oh, you Kyobpa, Nyingma, you don't know nothing. You're just entering into the cave and knowing nothing, You're just like shooting arrow in the dark without knowing something like that, They say like that, That kind of, I think the ideology or that kind of the view was there That's I'm kind of assuming, So therefore, the Jigten Sungwan said that whatever Buddha's teachings are there, so we have to, without leaving even a single one side, without contradicting. If you say, oh, this is the Tantrayana, this is the Sutrayana, oh, this one we should have to practice, this one is Tantra Sutrayana, we should live one will practice this one. If you contradiction comes in within that the teachings, so that is the actually again big mistake, Without contradiction, so there is the authentic way, the Dharma we have to practice. Very important, So therefore, in Tibetan, we're saying that even your realization is higher than sky, still you have to act the moral discipline. You have to act as is the ordinary kind of the monks or nuns or whatsoever. So one should not, if your inner realization comes very higher level, one should not act whatever you like. So that's a very important. So therefore, Jigten Sungwan said, if however one falls into the division, accepting some and rejecting others, that is what is so called the common religion of all Tibetans. So that's Jigten Sungwan said. So therefore, one should not live the Buddha's teachings, and we try to learn, we try to practice without criticizing, without contradicting each other. That's the very big message about Jigten Sungwan. So that's important to know while we are talking about the Gongchik. So now I'm going to read the transmission of the fifth. The fifth chapter is the Vajrayana, the vow. There are, I think, the 28 Vajra statement. If I remember my old memories, I hope. So now I'm going to read the transmission, and then same as yesterday, then Dolab Rinpoche will read in English. Ngagi temba janla minjungla somogi deni dulce kyabarla ngagi temba janla jungwa jedo sangagi wangtobe goe choge kurwala chemogi dir mi changi dangdembe lame wangi don gyulagena tobarjedo 갱골기 콜로릭 타데 마상와 왕구르도 미령와도바 이모기 데니 라초치베경 왕구르도 도바 임바 제도 왕순바 빼돈 미토바르 템바 망모기 데니 빼돈 똑바 마게나 콩도 미쳐바 임바 제도 끼리 마임발라 딱바 군다수도 바 이모기 데니 끼림네 용수도 바 임바 제도 마멜라 초사베 띵게 랑중도 중알라 소바 주베 초가 미고바 된 얌절랑베 초바도 바 이모기 데니 랑중 남다 주베 초가 가체와 임바 제도 나길 하남 샤차 타다바 두자 타다바도 바 이모기 데니 타담자 쳔베 용당당다 바 임바 제도 디진셰바당 장주센발라 소바 구통아 조르제바 망모기 데니 하라소바 도규도 송바 조르자고바 임바 셰도 까지 전소 공반이 황보 라빈바 초가 망보 타마 임바를 체 민샤와도 바 이모기 데니 왕보라블라 초가 갸바 탁바로 고신 갈체와 임바 셰도 초가 갸바 탐전에 땅돈도 쪼발라 가와라 송바 이모기 데니 쪼바 탐제 밥기 땐데 중아 임바 셰도 더제 루기 내루니 잘롱들레 장주기 셈라도 바 이모기 데니 더제 루기 내루니 자모 콜로 임바 셰도 잘롱 장주기서 내루기 형도 셰버 망모기 데니 내루가지 더제 창기 배바 임바 셰도 캬바도 잘롱니 상아 코네 잡라 이모기 데니 도주당레 가지 맨세바 임바 셰도 돈바 숨가라 소바 잘롱기 맨나다 답추버 잡라 모기 데니 장기 미자바 자바린 바제도 자모 잘롱기 드베 자부데 용수 드바 이모기 데니 미자베 담아메나 자모 잘롱기 삼메 야와 임바 셰도 가탕 땡조 남래 마샤바지 용암 또나 캬주도 더 이모기 데니 데바르셰베 가당가 냐면은 로독도 임바르샤도 당도 난예도 타도 더 초레 톰바 쳐바 이모기 데니 가요 공바담에 가메도 조 임바샤도 냠슬랑베 교연이 담nga 자모남 코나르 종알도 더 이모기 데니 담nga 다미용 깔다롱아 임바샤도 구숨니 교니 교메베 띵이진 더 이모기 데니 교메게 띵이진 감송 코라 임바 교임바샤도 율 이슈 자질라 소바 주베고단 롱조도 꿀라서 코든 타데바 샤모기 되니 고숨 레라양 고숨게 당기도 임바샤도 나니 도제 창기 공바 임바 토바 공바 돌로 미고브라 도바 임모게 되니 나라 수리 메카미 임바샤도 상안이 도바 쳐바 도바 바지 임모게 되니 도베 쳐바 송베 땡도 지바 임바샤도 상안이 지님몽바 독성기로 람바 도바 임모게 되니 나기 미게와 게와기 내메바 임바샤도 상안이 미게와 탑가바 게와 도바 임모게 되니 도바라 게와 나소양 게라기 도바라 미게와 나소양 미게와 임바샤도 님몽바네 상게 릭당도도 셴바 임모게 되니 님몽베 타보 타보 임바샤도 상안 먼저게 전에 딕도 미게와 게와 저바 나와도 먹게 되니 나기 투덴발레 먼저 만나와 임바샤도 도르제냐와네 냐와 셴베 하버도 바 임모게 되니 도제냐와 남메라 소바니 임바샤도 남카 마지게 바도 미탐바도 바 임모게 되니 도르제 로본 규조 토나 댕에게 정바 임바샤도 상아르진 돈베 네도게 솜레 도르제 솜 미슈 잡게 바데 감나바오.
Chapter 5, the chapter on secret mantra. Secret mantra does not occur in the teachings of other Buddhas. Secret mantra also occurs in the teaching of all other Buddhas. The understanding I have obtained empowerment of secret mantra is bestowed through the ritual. One obtains empowerment when the true meaning of empowerment arises in one's stream of being. People say that if the wheel of the mandala is not complete with the different families, empowerment is not possible. The four empowerments function even within a single deity. There are many who teach the third empowerment as something where the actual gnosis and the sample gnosis are not in agreement. One does not master the meaning if the realization of both sample and actual gnosis did not arise. People claim that since the creation stage imputes what does not exist, it is complete conceptualization. The creation stage is the absolute nature. People claim that since there is no need for a ritual for entering into the mandala, for those who possess self-arising samadhis that have been awakened by the residue of their previous good karma, practicing true reality is sufficient. For those to whom samadhi arises naturally, rituals of entering into the mandala are important. People claim that the deities of secret mantra with their different faces and arms resemble the trainees' needs. All deities possess the qualities of the major and minor marks. There are many who take the bodies of Tathagatas and Bodhisattvas that they have seen in visions or dreams as their principal deity. One must take the deities and so forth that Sutra and Tantra teach as the principal deities. People claim that instant generation of a tantric deity is for those with highest faculties, and that since deity generation based on much ritual is for those with the lowest faculty, it is of no great importance. All the detailed rituals are especially necessary for those with the highest faculties. All the detailed rituals are taught for those who delight in the elaborations regarding the meaning requiring further explanation. All elaborations of the ritual arise through the dependent arising of the fundamental nature. People claim that the original nature of the Vajra body is the channels, winds, vital essences, and bodhicitta. The original nature of the Vajra body is the profound wheel. People say that the ultimate state of channels, winds, and bodhicitta is as explained in the basic scriptures, namely the Tantras. He maintained that some aspects of the original state were hidden by Vajradhara. In particular, channels and winds are profound only in the mantra vehicle. Medicine teaches, the medicinal treatises, teaches some of the way things are, and some functions even more profoundly. People claim that the pith instructions of channels and winds are more profound than the three vows and so forth. What is profound for others is not profound for us. What is not profound for others is profound for us. People say that the result consisting of the body accomplished through profound winds, channels, and winds is complete. Lacking the so-called non-profound instructions, one will not attain Buddhahood through the so-called profound ones, i.e. the channels and winds. People say that if something is experienced or realized that was not taught in the instructions of the Buddha and the treatises, then it is a, quote, special dharma, unquote. Experience and realization that is incompatible with the Buddha's instructions is false. People claim that since one realizes the meaning that requires further interpretation and the definitive meaning differently, it is sufficient for the practice to accord with one of the respective aspects. One must never contradict any of the intentions of the Buddha's instructions. People claim that the defects and qualities of practicing arise exclusively according to the profound pith instructions. It ought not be as the pith instructions, it ought to be as the Buddha's instructions. People say that a faultless samadhi is the cause of the three kayas. The three faultless samadhis are a cause for the three samsaric realms. The Nirmana Kaya and Sambhoga Kaya and so on at the 24 places and so on are explained to be the three different kayas. Each of the three kayas has the natural characteristic of all three. People say that since secret mantra is the intention of Vajradhara, the intention of the sage, namely Vinaya, is not necessary. In secret mantra, disciplined conduct is indispensable. It is taught that secret mantra is accomplished by practicing desire. In addition to teaching that sutra and secret mantra are both disrupted by desire, he maintained that they are one. People claim that secret mantra is a path when one transforms the ground, the afflictions consisting of the three poisons. There is no occasion when through secret mantra a non-virtue turns into a virtue. People claim that secret mantra is such that non-virtue becomes virtue, since secret mantra is performed by those who are skilled in means. What is virtuous in the Vinaya is also virtuous in secret mantra, and what is non-virtuous is also non-virtuous. Afflictions are maintained to be the Buddha's family and line. The result of purifying, of clearing the mental defilements is Buddhahood. People claim that the activities of the destructive rites of secret mantra will not be evil and that they are permitted because they turn into virtue. Apart from merely demonstrating the magical powers of secret mantra, destructive rites are not permitted. People claim that the Vajra hell is worse than other hells. The Vajra hell is the Avicii hell. People claim that one does not emerge from Vajra hell until space disintegrates. If the Vajra master's level of cognition is high, they can pull up the disciple.
So, that's the transmission. It is, you see, that to receive actually any kind of like the vow or transmission or empowerment whatsoever, actually, the receiving the definition for receiving the empowerment is as here mentioned in the second, the Vajra statement. That's the different. Other than that, actually, we have to have a kind of the intention of that receiving something, you know. If you, while somebody give you transmission, then if you have an intention that, oh, I received the transmission, that means you receive the transmission. It does not mean that receiving is something, you receive some kind of physical something, you know. Similar to that way, receiving the, let's say, upasika vow. Upasika, yeah? Upasika, yeah? So when we talk about the upasaka and upasika, the vow, when the master gives you the vow, there's nothing the physical that we receive something, but as long as you have some kind of the intention after through this certain kind of like ritual things, then the master said that you know there's a after the repetition of certain prayer they always do tab ino, and you have to say lexo, you know. Tab ino means this is the methods for that. And lexo means that you have to say, okay, wonderful. At that moment, then when the master said tabino, when you say lexo, at that moment, actually, you have to feel that, okay, I receive it, when you have a feeling of when you have some kind of like the feeling, or you have some kind of intention that, oh, I receive, so that means you have a receive, not that. But in the case of the empowerment is something different, as here also mentioned. One obtain the empowerment when the true meaning of the empowerment arises in the mental continuum. That is the definition for the receiving empowerment, empowerment. Usually we say that, of course, when we receive the certain kind of like substance of the empowerment, when the master put a vase on your head, oh, I received the vase empowerment, When we receive some nectar, when you think, then we say, oh, I received the secret empowerment, As long as we don't receive that kind of the substances, we assume that I don't receive the empowerment. It does not mean like that, So the Miller rapper, he said, Pumba gotok to jakwa chi wang, ranlul haru ngotroba nangi wang. That the meaning is that just putting the vase on your head is outer empowerment. He said chi wang, outer empowerment. The meaning of the vast empowerment is that the Vajra master is giving an introduction about that you are the skanda or 5 aggregates are embodiment of 5 Dhyani Buddha. Basically, that's the once recognize that you are on that the existing, that the body or feeling or whatsoever, that 5 aggregates are embodiment of the 5 Dhyani Buddha. So that is the definition of the meaning of receiving the vast empowerment. It does, whether you receive the pumpa that was on your head or not, that doesn't matter, That's what Milarepa said, So similar to that way, all these things are actually very important to know. Of course, now each of the Vajra statements are very meaningful, and it's very interesting to give some explanation, but of course we don't have time. And also, as here also mentioned, that is very important. We can see why the Jigten Sumgon he think that teachings of the Buddha is very important. Another thing is that here the people claim that if something is experienced or realized, that what was not taught in the instruction of the Buddha's teachings, this is the special dharma. Most actually the Tibetan master, sorry to say, there are many like great treasurer even in the Kyobpa, Nyingmapa, and also we have that kind of belief system saying that, oh, this text is so special, so holy. Our teacher, he got it from the treasure from that mountain. Usually they have that kind of system exists in our Tibetan Buddhism. But the Jigten Sumgon, he never said that, oh, my teaching is very important. So Jigten Sumgon said that the experience and realization that is incompatible with the Buddha's instruction is false. If something that whatever any teacher, they experience something, they got certain kind of realizations in their practice, if that is actually okay with if that is the kind of can be matched with the Buddha's teachings, either sutra or tantra, that is fine. If something is not matched with the teachings of Buddha, sutra or tantra, so that is the Jigten Sumgon said that is the false. Even though your guru received something so special, so that's very. And also Jigten Sumgon mentioned, he was criticized. Now, might you have seen that in the Tibetan Buddhism, there are many kind of tankas. There are many tankas that draw as per the vision of the masters, Sometimes the teachers only half of the body is appear in the midst of the clouds. That kind of, there's a tanka painting, because when the masters see, or when the deity is in the sky, in the middle of the clouds, that kind of, there are many tankas. But the Jigten Sumgon, he said that whatever you make the tanka or statue whatsoever, you have to make very nicely. One should not draw all the kind of tanka painting or whatever just by saying that, oh, my master, he saw something like these kind of things, and saying that the master looked like very different face, angry face, or maybe a way of sitting style is something very differently, maybe the one leg is bent, one leg is straight, or that kind of the funny tankas are there actually, so one should not do like that, So therefore, the Jiten Sungwan, what mean to say is that whatever we have to do the best on the Buddha's teachings, that is very the important. Okay, now that is now Tantrayana part. So now I will go the next one. And do you have the Tibetan text also, which you not here in your laptop? Yeah, you don't have here the Tibetan this Gongchik text, because the 8th chapter is missing in here my place. You have that one, yeah? Okay, because only here the 7th chapter is there. Lasso. Okay, now that's the 8th chapter. So the 5th chapter is talking about the Vajrayana. So that's very interesting again. What the importance of the practice of Vajrayana, that the practice of channels, winds, and bindu, and then the samadhi. All of these things are mentioned very clearly. But I'm sure you will find some time to study all these things very detailed in the future. So now I'm going to read the transmission of the next, the 6th chapter, which is talking about the view and action and meditation. The Tibetan we call Tawa, Gompa, Kyobpa. In this, the 6th chapter, there are 20 Vajra statements. The basically talking about the Kyobpas, what kind of the view of the Kyobpa master they believe, what kind of the action of the Kyobpa masters they practice, what kind of practice or meditation that the Kyobpa master they do. So that in this 6th chapter is talking about the view, practice, and action. Tagum Chosum. So I'm going to read the transmission again. Gajing cho gyuba mebar jungadang sacho namcho termala soba zabjing mosawa doba imoge deni gyubala gyube cho zabjing mosawa imba jedo nangwa nazozo nangwa nami nangi lodang mandebra doba imoge deni nangsi korda gyudebe chodamde rangi semso imba jedo korda gyude tamje tuyu ringbola doba doba imoge deni chodamde samba kajime ranzo imba jedo 랑진 찍도 망해봐 강달제봐 대다르기와 임바 더메기 되니 실라미나나 따버미기와 임바 셔도 창이답니다 벨라메경 연된 깨버노바더바 임어기 되니 창이답니다 벨라메 연된 깨버미노바 임바 셔도 똑바케베 탑망해봐 나조도 용화 더메 되니 똑바 깨버제베 탑무고 코나를 예버셔도 우마라 속과 따와 타도도 더바 임어기 되니 똑바 푸도 중화라 따와 똑바단 대바 임바셔도 중기 동방이 똑바네 첨보 숨 코나 토르도 바 임어기 되니 첨보 숨기 마릭베 똑바 임바셔도 토섬 검숨라 중에 똑바니 똑바 더바 임어기 되니 토섬 검숨기 동이 똑바다 동사 동이 쇼사담 고사 임바셔도 곰바니 대사 미도발라 속바 신에게 띵전나 제바 임어기 되니 똑베 람 곰바르 제바 임바셔도 따와네 중기 동방이 차게 임바도 뭐기 되니 저번에 게데기 랑도르도 바 임어기 되니 저발 랑도단다 바 임바 소림리 뭐지 임바셔도 타도 차게 전보다 수림이니 가외지도 임바도 뭐기 되니 차게 전보다 수림 직과 공배 캐쳐 라나메바 임바셔도 따와 공바 저바 좀 타대버도 바 임어기 되니 따곰 저바 직이 말이셔도 차게 전보다 교양 강양 메버도 바 임어기 되니 차게 전보는 연데 공기 당에 임바셔도 냠자라는 연데 미중화 제라 중화 임바도 뭐기 되니 냠자 일레 연데 탐제 중화 임바셔도 규 만두병 연데 탐제 중화도 바 임어기 되니 규 만두바나네 탐제 메중화 임바셔도 똥이 돈아 규래 제브라 자살교와도 바 임어기 되니 똥이 돈아 똥방이 규래도 당화 임바셔도 또바 요 친체 탑람라 고바라 메바도 보면기 되니 또바단 담발라 탑람 라소바 신도망와 임바도 또베 뭐 돈발라 리과투주기 쳐바 나소바 나저베 찰루기 두루 로와도바 임어기 되니 수딤기 라바라 라바르체라도 제바 임바 제도 냠자 첨보 무수군에 타도기 쳐바 임바도 뭐게 되니 무수구 초소메나 이시외 쳐바나 캬반베바 임바지도 캬바 따곰 쳐바네도 좀 노르지순니 슈탐바데 깝쪽바 오
This is chapter 6. Some say the dharmas that appear without transmission lineage, the earth teachings, space teachings, and treasure teachings, are to be profound and amazing. He taught that the Dharma that is transmitted by a lineage is profound and marvelous. Some say that the manifold appearances are unconnected with the inner mind. All phenomena included in samsara and nirvana are one's mind. People say that cause and result of samsara and nirvana connect over long periods of time. All phenomena are the embodiments of momentary thoughts. People say that since the nature of a thing is not fixed as a single thing, the nature of a thing is how one looks at it. If something is not included in the fundamental nature of a thing, it cannot turn into that by merely looking at it in that way. People claim that one can also produce the qualities of realization with a guru who doesn't possess the characteristics. The guru who does not possess the characteristics themselves cannot produce the qualities. People say that the means through which realization arises is uncertain and can be one of several different ones. It is certain that the only means of cultivating realization is through devotion. People claim great Madhyamaka and so forth to be the ultimate view. View is to be endowed with realization. People say that the realization of true reality, emptiness, is only surpassed by the great three. Realization is not even reached by the great three. People say that those realizations that arise from listening, reflecting, and practicing are the final realization. The emptiness of studying, reflecting, and practicing contains traps and sidetracks. Meditative practice is generating bliss, clear light, and non-thought in the samadhi of tranquil abiding. Habituating to realization is practice. People say that the view is dharmata, emptiness, and mahamudra, and that the conduct is freedom from accepting virtue and rejecting evil. The conduct that is without accepting and abandoning is the precious disciplined conduct. People claim that view, practice, and conduct are three separate things. View, practice, and conduct are the same. People claim that ultimately mahamudra and disciplined conduct are incompatible. That mahamudra and disciplined conduct are one is an unsurpassed special teaching of Jigten Sumgön. People say that there are no faults and qualities in mahamudra. Mahamudra is the embodiment of all qualities. People say that the qualities do not arise during meditative equipoise, but afterwards. All qualities arise from meditative equipoise. People say that all qualities also arise without accomplishing a cause. If one has not established the cause, all the qualities will not arise. People say that because cause and result are exhausted after one realizes emptiness, they are completely done with. If one has realized emptiness, emptiness emerges as cause and effect. People say that when one has reached realization, one no longer needs the path of means and so forth. For the possessor of realization, the path of means and so forth is all the more necessary. People say that on the charnel grounds, one enjoys the various special observances of awareness in the attire of the yogis in the face of the enhancement of realization. Having the highest regard for disciplined conduct is the especially distinguished conduct of awareness. People say that the great meditative equipoise of the Bushuku is the ultimate conduct. If a Bushuku were without the three dharmas, he would be a Shravaka or Pratyeka Buddha aiming for peace.
Good. Very deep meaning. No time to explain. It's a really powerful meaning, all of these things, and especially that it is very interesting that the Vajra statement, some people say that, when the great realization masters, when they realize the meaning of emptiness or Mahamudra or great perfection, whatever we could so call, then no need to do anything. They reach ultimate level. They no need to accumulate merit. There's no need to do anything. They're done perfectly. They complete it, Many masters, many people, they believe like that. But very interesting that Jiten Sungwon, he said that our Tibetan saying the tong ni to na gyurengi to dang. The meaning is that if one has realized the emptiness emerges as a cause and result. That's very interesting. It does not mean that when somebody realizes the meaning of emptiness, that means totally in his or her mind become empty. It does not mean there's a nothingness. It does not mean there's a nothing exists there. It doesn't mean there's no need to do anything at all. It does not mean like that. As much as the person he got the inner realizations, that much, so he will be very much careful the cause and conditions, That much he has to be very much, it does not mean that, the person, he reached that level, so that means he has to be he can do whatever he likes. It does not mean like that, I have a very interesting story to share. Story is good, We'd like to share. That the story related to His Eminence that led our Drikung Rinpoche again, the great yogi. I'm sure many of you that watched the Yogi of Tibet. If not, please watch it. There are many related to his. That the story was actually told me by, now he passed away, that who founded that now, where recently I was in San Diego, the Drikung Kyobpa the center, Dupon, something, so who passed away, unfortunately 2 years ago. So he told me that story, One occasion, he went to India to visit the holy place along with some of his Dharma students, I guess students or brother, friends whatsoever. He went to Bodh Gaya. At that time, then Drikung Rinpoche, he was there, and he was also, I think, taking a part in the Nyingmapa Molam, I guess. There's every year the Nyingmapa, there's great world peace prayer they conduct at Bodh Gaya, and actually Drikung Rinpoche, he always go for the prayer. I think around that time. So Drikung Rinpoche was also there. And then, of course, since Drikung Rinpoche is there, so he thought, this is a very good opportunity to see him and get blessing from him, Then he went to see, along with his all friends. He said around 10 people were there. And then when they just reached nearby Rinpoche's place, and somehow those days, Indian only 2 rupees note. I don't know how many, 2 cents maybe, maybe less than 2 cents. Somehow the 200 rupees, the note just fell down somewhere underneath of Rinpoche's table. Rinpoche is so busy for searching for the 2 rupees, So Rinpoche did not give blessing. They were just waiting there. The Dupont and all the people are waiting there, and Rinpoche did not give blessing. He was so busy with searching for the 2 rupees of the notes, He felt a little bit kind of shame, So it's because all the friends are just waiting there, So then he can't tolerate it anymore. Then he told Rinpoche, Rinpoche, so please, can you give first blessing to us? The students are here, and then I can find out later on that the money that fell down under the table, Then Rinpoche, he got angry and he scolded him, Why are you saying that, So that the money that somebody who offered me the 2 rupees, if I lost that money without I make dedication prayer, if that money go into somebody's hand, that the cause and effect of the negative karma I have to experience. You are the foolish, you don't know all of this, the kind of the cause and conditions. So he scolded him, So it looks like Rinpoche is very much attached to all these things. Of course, Rinpoche, he never keep money, because we know, because when Rinpoche is, because we all a child, when we get to know that Rinpoche is coming, we always happy, because Rinpoche always give whatever he got from his foreign tours or whatsoever, he always distribute to the monks. He never keep anything, Many occasions, even whatever he has belonging things at his meditation room, that straw, cushion, mattress, kitchens, everything he do auctions, Many occasions, maybe twice a year or something he does like that, Even every belonging thing he does auction, and whatever money comes, give it to the monks or monastery. He never keep anything, but he has no attachment for. But as a tip, he has a very attachment showing that to money, So the meaning is that here we can see that because Rinpoche, what it mean to say is that because the person who offer him that the money, so of course the people offer him with some kind of wish, some kind of whatever he extend the prayer. So Rinpoche need to make prayer for that one. Without he completed his prayer, if that one missing, so that Rinpoche, he is the responsible, You did not said that whatever person the offer to him. So therefore, that is a really kind of showing that Rinpoche meaning is that because he can see, even though he is a great religion master, so he know all these kind of subtle, the cause and conditions are how things are moving, how things are affecting, So therefore, in the sutra also mentioned that only the Thamja Khenpa omniscient, is it? Omniscient, yeah? Only the Buddha, we call it omniscient. Only the omniscient, the Buddha, he knows all the cause and conditions of the details of the example of the feather of the peacock, The feather of the peacock has a very detailed design and colors, different things. What are the cause and conditions of all of these things? Only known by the Buddha, no one else. So because he has full of wisdoms, So similar to that way, so only the kind of like great religion masters, although they are kind of their level is very high, and then they can see all how the karmic things are moving, cause and condition things are happening. So that is the things, So therefore, actually, this is very interesting. It doesn't mean that somebody got a very high religious. It does not mean that he can do what he likes. So therefore, Jigten Sungwan, he said that the view, the tawa, is like the great Mahamudra, yet the moral discipline or my conduct, my Kyobpa is as like a Vinaya. So therefore he is very careful, Jigten Sungwan. Although Jigten Sungwan, he has the power to transform the alcohol into nectar, at that time, Jigten Sungwan, even he not allowed to use alcohol in the puja, because he very much the conduct, the moral discipline is very strict as the Vinaya, So therefore, Jigten Sungwan said, the view is as a Mahamudra, but conduct I keep as a Vinaya based on. So that's the thing. What the meant to of that. If one has realized the emptiness emerge as a cause and condition. So as much as the person got the realization, that much that the emptiness emerge as a cause and condition. That's the meaning. Is very interesting. So now that one, sorry that we don't have much now time to give the detailed explanations. So now the next one is the. Then again here very the interesting. Many people think that is that Tantrayana has no discipline. But Jigten Sungwan said that is the Tantrayana has a discipline, It does not mean one should not do whatever, like saying that, the moral discipline is only have to practice in the practice of Vinaya. We are practitioner of Tantrayana, we can do whatever we like. That's absolutely mistake, Jigten Sungwan said. So likewise, it's very interesting, very important. The meanings are there, but now we don't have time. And then also very important one meaning is that Tibetan we say nyam. Nyam is experience, and tokpa is realizations. So sometimes the people get confused. The practitioner when they get experience of like bliss. When somebody get the experience of bliss, that means the person, of course, I don't have. But it's saying that once the person get the experience of the bliss, means if somebody cut one side your limbs and one side of your body, somebody is applying some cream and giving a massage for like comfortness, you don't feel kind of different feeling, So that kind of like very much the bliss, you know. So you are full in the state of the bliss, you know. Even somebody is cutting one side, cutting your limbs, and one side somebody is applying some massage or something. You don't feel one side is pain and one side is comfort. You are fully in the state of the happiness. Similar to that way, when you experience of the clarity, there's no hindrances in between. Everything is like now this room. Now this hall has a very wonderful like sunlight. We can see everything clearly. Similar to that way, actually, without any blockage, the mountain or walls whatsoever, you can see everything clarity. That's the kind of the experience of the clarity. And then experiencing of the no thoughts, mitokpa, no thought. Then, so whatever you do, so you can, without any get distraction, distracted by your mind, you can remain in the state of the meditation state. You know, no matter what kind of things are happening around you, what kind of things, or even sometimes the masters, that's also very interesting. You know, usually we say that when we do meditation, usually we says text that it is good to close your eye so that you are not easy to get distracted by whatever you are seeing and things, you know. But sometimes when the great meditation, the masters, I've seen even sometimes the Drikung Rinpoche or many other masters, sometimes they meditate as an open eye, you know. So in that case, actually, the meditation, the great master, they can see things from their eye, they can hear from their eye, but without distracted, you know. That's very interesting, you know. They usually they open eye, you know, as if they are seeing something, but they can see, but without grasping. They can hear without grasping. But as we ordinary people now, we can see then easily, oh, this is nice, beautiful. That is, we always distracted, and that we stuck there, you know. So that's the differences between us and the great realization masters. So think, okay, now we jump to the next 7th chapter. 7th chapter is actually talking about the debu. Debu is now comes to the final ultimate that what we have to obtain is the result. The debu is the fruit. The result chapter. There are around 15 Vajra statement. Sangyegi sar demba ngi yobar doba yimo ki doba in the dini sangyegi sar demba ngi so meba yimba jeto. This is the another important, I cannot just jump without explanation, you know. Because it is important, you know. Again, the same as, where is that one? This is also. Some claim the Dharma that appear without transmission lineage, the teachings, the earth teachings, Sacho, we call the teachings of sky is coming from sky, space teachings, Namcho we call the teachings of like the treasure, Tercho, coming from the treasure, to be profound and amazing. Most people in our Tibetan community, we say like that, you know, oh, this teaching is so profound, there's no lineage from the Buddha or Vajradhara. This comes from the earth, this is come from the sky, this comes from the wood, Xingchu, even there's a Xingchu. This is come from the Ter from the mountain, Ter from. But the Jigten Sungpan say, he thought that the Dharma that is transmitted by the lineage is profound and more marvelous. Those teachings which comes from the sky, which come from the earth, which comes from the mountain, are profound. But the Bhajitan Sungpan that which has a lineage is more profound and marvelous, you know, because that can be more authentic. So therefore, Bhajitan Sungpan, whatever he is saying that I think overall, we all has to understood that is the Jiten Sungpan. He want to emphasize, and he want us to rely on the teachings of Buddha only. That's what he meant to say, you know. Of course, there are many teachings, many marvelous teachers. Of course, can be very authentic, can be very good. But you see, in the market, there are good products and bad products also there. Of course, when you show it as a marketing, very nicely they present it as saying, oh, this is good for this health, this is good for this health. Ultimately, who knows, So, something. That's what Jiten Sungun mean to say. I hope now you got the meaning. What? Lasso. Okay, now the 7th chapter. Sangyegi sa demba ngi yobardoba imoge deni sangyegi se demba ngi su mebarin bajada sangyani ishe yobardoba ta mebardoba imoge deni ishe ni ngi su meba dekonang bajado nyangala debala cholhabe chochi yonayang gyumadabu imbar gyuma doba ima domoge deni gyumadabu chola yangtaba deba imbajado sangyegi tardu kachi ngile panjani tsemaragi wadoba imoge deni sangye tu tado tsemaraji wa imbajado sangye lani sheje diba pangna tardu gyuba chabadoba imoge deni 달에 되고 이세계 도전인 바저도 초기군이 이수 도발레 데베규 켄 세브라도바 이모게 데니 초기고의 연대 틸레 잡아던 잡아인 바저도 상견이 제부 탈침바 귤라 미주바도바 이모게 데니 상계게 사량 투게바인 바저도 상견이 구승도 미자바 경기 콜로 남투 잠도 도바 이모게 데니 툭제고양 다저게 도 중앙인 바도 상계니 이장게 마인데 상계게 두베도 돈 잡아도바 이모게 데니 셰자 세세게 상계게 자와인 바 제바인 바도 상계라 신 타데바레 상계바도바 이모게 데니 초기 잉 탐제도 상계나 상계서 미중화인 바제도 상계기 두배 규 타야바제바 규메경 두배 쳐버도바 이모게 데니 규메게 두바 미세바 랑기바인 바제도 꾸니다 이생이수 잔돈도바 이모게 데니 상계기 탐제 땐데기 꾸인 바제도 몸베 제부이 니 두굴라 롱조 종화인 바도모게 데니 몸발라 롱고다 주발라 두고 종화인 바제도 꾸숨니네 타다바 코 타데버도 덤바 이모게 데니 꾸숨 타다메바 임바제도 상계 탐제니 옹민남 대답이 내는 주바도바 이모게 데니 상계 탐 셈장게 감귤라 주바 임바제도 대부 상계기 내돌레 도제송 종아바데 갑dum바오 딘남게 제바 쳔부르 타고 있는데 데르라 양체다게지로 타야바도바 제바디당게 차게 태빈 틱수발라 송바가 타다게 공바당 타르도 툼바레 랑규 규토도 저르시진 고알기 바다기 파냠메베 dombo 둥바데 툭레 개바 쉐기 고갈라 롱제바 삼미미가 제마도 종하고 대남기 제베샤 담게 송 게아바오 지다지는 파이 보는 저 베베저 받는 파이 좀 전에 보는 모든 만나는 모든 진수 맞는 거 뭔도 잡에도 보면 뭔도 맞는 지든 지라사 게임이 되는 데제레 단 파이 돈 버리 저 전에 몸에 저 받는데 집에 돈 내단 좀 뭔가 되는 저기 보는 거는 보다 놓고 기억이 되는데 산에 파고 맞아 답이고 요금이 나도 몸에 한다면 이거 좀 되게 가는 몸을 지라고 면서 간다 되게 좀 이제 돈 거다 나서도 잘하면 되지 이게 만나는 만나 책을 봐자는 그냥 베드라진도 더 다지는 게 제일 뭐 여도 그냥 몰라 되지 뭐 바보 시랍 좀 나다는 동안에 요원 이제 너무 요원 되면 다진 상계 좀 들어버려 배체 싸고 탈진 게 켜버는 너 야 나지 봐줘 빠디웅 오면게 내내 중앙서서 나서
Chapter 7. People say that there are two truths at the stage of Buddhahood. At the stage of Buddhahood, there is no distinction between the two truths. Regarding the Buddha gnosis, there are only two views: to hold that it exists and to hold that it does not exist. Gnosis is only non-dual gnosis. People say that even if there were a phenomenon more supreme than nirvana, since it would be like an illusion, it would still be illusory. Gnosis is completely beyond illusory phenomena. People say that the mind of the Buddha is, from the second moment onward, not a valid cognition. The Buddha continuously dwells in valid cognition. People say that once one has abandoned the veil of knowledge objects within Buddhahood, mental engagement is interrupted. The result of separation possesses the mind of gnosis. People say that since it is beyond dualistic structures, the Dharmakaya has exhausted causes and conditions. The Dharmakaya possesses the qualities and deeds. People say that since Buddhahood is the finalization of the result, a Buddha no longer engages in causes. The resolve for awakening exists at the Buddha stage. It is claimed that the wheel of the inexhaustible ornament of the Buddha's body, speech, and mind is merely a miraculous display. The Buddha's mind alone arises, reaching as far as the view of eternalists and nihilists. People say that the Buddha accomplishes the benefit of beings through Buddha emanations, but not through anything else. The Buddha performs the activity with anything existing within the objects of knowledge. People say that Buddhas attain Buddhahood in separate individual Buddha fields. If one does not awaken to Buddhahood with respect to the entire sphere of reality, one does not become a Buddha. Concerning the limitless Buddha emanations, it can be said that they emanate without causes. Since there is no emanation without cause, they are their own continuum. People claim that the two form bodies and gnosis are appearances of others. The Buddha is a body of dependent arising. People say that the result of the preliminary resolve is the arising of the Nirmanakaya, of the actualization, the arising of the Sambhogakaya. From the preliminary resolve, meaning bodhicitta, arises Sambhogakaya, and from the actualization of that result, the Nirmanakaya. The three bodies are revealed at different places to different retinues and with different teachings. The three bodies remain undifferentiated. People say that all the Buddhas dwell in Akanishta or in similar places. All Buddhas dwell in the natural continuum of all sentient beings.
That's all. You found it? You found it, yeah? Oh, that's all. So this the nine, the Vajra statements is very another interesting, Here said that the people claim that the Buddha accomplished the benefit of the beings through the Buddha emanations, but not through anything else. Usually we said there's an emanation of the Nirmanakaya, Sambhogakaya. So there are two kind of emanation of the Buddha, and within the emanation of the Nirmanakaya, there are many different kinds of emanations. So that's the only way that the Buddha benefits to sentient beings, not through anything else. That's what other people mention. But Jiten Sumgon, his view is that the Buddha performed the activity with anything existing within the object of knowledge, including nowadays AI, I would say. Isn't it very interesting? It has a very valid meaning, So Buddha, it is not something that is only something exists there. Buddha does not mean only is referring to only the limit of elimination. Actually, it just said every sentient beings, we do have already Buddha nature, In that case, actually all mother sentient beings are actually embodiment of the Buddha. Saying that, and that the activity, which we Tibetan we call like the Chinle, Usually we said that the Ku, Sung, Toku, and then Chinle. The body, speech, mind, and then quality and activity. Usually we always count the 5 different things, When it comes to the activity, then usually we say, he is so and so, he is the emanation of so and so, he is emanation of Avalokiteshvara, he is emanation of Manjushri. So that's the only we believe in saying that this is the activity of the Buddha. But Jiten Sumgon said that whatever exists, object of knowledge, whatever exists, even this cup actually, whatever it is, the table or whatever, it has a very detailed meaning actually. It is a big meaning, Let's say, if I just focus on this table, if I try to focus on this table, and depending on this table, if I manage to stabilize my mind without any distraction, using the table as the object of my meditation, if I do so, if I get some benefit through the table as an object of meditation, it also performing some activity, just like an example, It can be in a good way, it can be bad way. The performing the activity, it does not mean something always has to be something good, So therefore there are many, when we look into the life stories of the many great yogis, being a hunter, performing many kind of like great activities. when we look in all the histories of the yogis or yoginis whatsoever. So therefore, it has a very, of course, now I cannot explain just by in a short meaning. Also in the even the non-Buddhist, it's not talking about that only the Buddhist view is marvelous and Buddhist view is wonderful. Even in this explanation also said that even though the nihilism, we said that nihilism, or maybe even the view of the Communist Party or whatsoever, who don't believe nothing, even that kind of the view also performing the Buddha's activity, but it has a big meaning. So you have to study. So the Buddha performed the activity with anything existing within the object of the knowledge. It has a big meaning. So that much for today. So now, this is now 7th chapter. We completed. Now the 8th chapter is actually we call like Lhentap. Lhentap means additional chapter. Additional chapter. But actually all the meaning is already explained. But it's kind of like more detailed. When we summarize, actually, there are 46 Vajra statements, 46 Vajra statements in the additional chapter. So that was actually already summarized into the 7th chapter that we already mentioned. But of course, a little bit the detailed way. So just I will just read through. Okay. It is a really meaning. I'm sure if you learn details, so you will very kind of inspired by those Jiten Sumgon. Okay. Okay, laso da time was to you do man do Jiten Sum you sung Jijuba so they call it actually there are 46. But it called it Song Jipchuba means the 40 teachings actually, although there is a 46, just in the say like that, the Jipchuba. Timothy to you, the managing one of the one doing Chado Jojo, some gate and Namle, you there. Go back, couldn't get Kyobpa, doesn't get Labrador, showing it out of the Gatam to get to the Yondan Diando, Doba, go to the watch the Rabjan Jadamba to do, you go about the Yanshaje. 타도바 안예베 남가당에 베다 자와지 되는 조조라베 제다교와 타도보고다 예라마르교와 조담자 왕교쟁가도 예라바림 뭐저처럼 마다다교회 저기 원저지보기 호마메 벨라마 가중시에게 뭐 여령 뭐잖아 저도 용바데와 타다서 나서도 뭐 예데니 상가담적이 정도면 직바인바저도 가진 날에 상계게 초타다보다 루당에 버려져 인제 되네 대과단도 나서 되네 바저도 치리를 저기 봉보사 발랑기 야과라서 바인바제 뭐게 되네 야데 지동이 몸에 뭐여져도 소나면 나중에는 소마레 바겨도 뭐도 뭐게 되네 지기 나도 양 중에 뭐 담자 지도여도 본조서 방안이 가만히 바겨도 뭐게 되네 고다 담자 본조 방안이 바저도 내년에 수지라 지기 도 매버에 바도 바 되네 판조도 보더는 뭐 숨가 상월에 바저도 지레 송바 담자 링지 본조 마상화제 바이네 뭐게 되네 가담제 본좀 쳐와 나 상황에 맞아도 들어와 뭐 숨도 방황이 뭐게 되네 또 단습니다. 내너도 좀 바인 바져도 무대 과단 번개 버져 봐게 된 바 통하면 바인 바도 뭐게 되네 무대 과단 번개 동하다 나면 바인 바셔도 very interesting, Some people say that, the non-Buddhists and then the Bonbo, they're talking about, Bon religion is not Buddhism. They don't see, they have no potential to see the kind of the first Bhumi level. They have no potential to see the true nature of the true meaning, Then also many people say, these are the non-Buddhists. They don't have the potential to see the true nature of the reality. Many people say like that. But Jiten Sungwa, he said that even though the non-Buddhists and then born, all they do have a kind of, they have a potential to see the certain kind of like true nature, very amazing. And then also some say that, they are the non-Buddhists, they don't have any kind of particular vow, particular compassion. But then they do have. One should not disrespect about saying that we are the only one, the Buddhists, That's very respectful teachings, you know. Chiro badang dong badang je kanyang dong mo de kyam do lang ja ta bo dong ge deni dong ba dong je ba yang dong yu changye de kwana ta sum na de deni yu changye de gan si wo yu ja do changye na sang ge mi ji bo do ba mo ge deni chodang yam leng ge do ge sang ye bo je do dong ba sum kon na kon do ya bo do ba mo ge deni dong ba sum kon do do bo je do. It's very interesting. Some say that the three vows, you know, Vinaya, Mahayana, Vajrayana, they saying that, okay, when you go higher and higher and higher, you are going easier and easier and easier, you know. Many people say that, there are lots of restriction in the case of Vinaya. When you reach in the Bodhisattva level, less restriction. When you do the Tantrayana vow, there's no restriction, almost saying that, you're allowed to have a concert, you're allowed to drink alcohol, you're allowed to dress up, all kind of whatever you like, no need to be particular. We think like that, you know, but in Sumo, no. As much as you are going higher and higher, there are more restrictions, more rules. That's wonderful, isn't it? Wonderful. So therefore now, many people, they misuse as a dharma, thinking that, I am practitioner, and so we are allowed to do everything, saying that that's a really big mistake, you know. Okay, so 교창이게 대베라마즈는 교창이데 저당데 이체도 담바스는 거는 데니 담바스는 자주게 쳐주면서 전에 나오는 거 이게 상계대 예파여도 짐바도 보이면 되는 다도 이런 상계 공부는 야라네 대전기 리세발 상매여도 보이면 되는 야랑다 상계게 교단데 다도 장주면 저번에도 대바도 만예바 나도 보이면 대바도 상계게 되는 거죠. 거와 다다도 바도 타메도 보이면 되는 거와 타메도 보이면 책임을 레지 don나서 반자를 임바도 보이면 되는 저거 소드라 레도 보이면 버저도 담배초 둘와 라니 대와 미지바도 보이면 되는 대바 시작에 자발롱 대지 뭐지 보이면 밀람도 양 사원냥 바랑이 보면 되게 되는 두번 마누나 밀람도 양양양이 봐 중앙에 봐셔도 사당보도 망고지 보면 되게 되는 사토보도 망노 양 임버저도 장조장 반남게 속에 나서 보이면 되게 되는 양에 마던 조 군살에 초소 임버저도 들어와 제발라도 나도는 발라도 치료게 되는 보이면 되게 되니 대남 셀웨게 탑초도게 와 동안에 미과 임버저도 상하나니지 대노 지바 임버도 보면 되네 대노 숨가당 숨저게 임버저도 상하 게 왕고라미도 보면 고량 더 보이면 되네 왕보라도 숨가에 초가사버 임버저도 고숨게 잡아 숨도 임버도 보이면 되네 대한 란지게 지나게 좀 임버저도 하르를 안차를 상화도 보이면 되네 하면 섬에 중앙에 임버저도 상하게 도지 잡아되네 나와도 보이면 되네 도지 잡아되네 나에 까메바 임버저도 가지 나네 하당버주 림게 줘봐 인자 되네 하나 지자 줘봐 잡아 임버저도 기림 템버 제발 임바당 소도 보이면 되네 하텐데게 소로 보이면 셔고서 가투블라 소바 하랑 임버저 보이면 되네 하 타말로도 보면 임버저도 유대지라 마서 보당도 임버저도 하 매치부 자바냐도 임바죠 뭐게 되네 당동에도 남자라 초가서 임바죠 왕바라나 초가 이게 치게죠 뭐 너무게 되네 강기도 와죠 발라야도 임바죠 송에 콜론에 초당도 와라 소바자 임게 되네 송에 콜론마도 장족이 생임바죠. This is another very many people think that there are lots of protection, you know, usually in our Vajrayana or Tibetan Buddhism. Of course we do have many protections, you know, many kind of like amulets, you know, many kind of amulets. And then when we do some kind of practices, we have to visualize many kind of Vajra fence and fire and so many things, you know. But Jiten Sumgon says that the best protection is the practice of bodhicitta. You know, very interesting, you know. If you have a genuine bodhicitta, nobody is going to harm to you, you know. Same is like the Buddha Shakyamuni when he was meditating under the Bodhi tree. Many Maras, demons, they try to harm, but all turn into flowers because Buddha was meditating in the state of loving kindness, you know. If you love other people, who is going to harm you, isn't it? So that's the wonderful another. He said that the bodhicitta is the best, marvelous, the protection, you know. That's 상황에 맞도 좀 많이 맞는 거 많이 되니 살롱이 되는 나보다 와인 바자도 도중에 나지 살롱 되는 다와인 바자 먹게 되니 이마도 저게 살롱 되는 사와인 바자도 로메 담세 신동이 아마 로번도 이마도 되니 로번 인가 판정 담정이 와인 바자도 공진 넘버 제번에 사주 전에 선배가 무슨 말도 와인 먹게 되니 진압당 담배 도지도 와인 바자도 초행이게 된 바 동화라 가르고 상가게 남도 와인 먹게 되니 메게 와자 사주 보양으로 와인 바자도 라바 무슨 상황도 해야 되고 와봐 제 친한 마우스를 미지고도 와인 먹게 되니 바로 전바 대과 숨자가 나인 바자도 제가 좀 몰라 메게 미경이 되바도 와인 게 되니 계획 뭐 디바 바 초콜릿 민데 바 임바제도 다베 다보 규메 바다 바 임게 되니 규메게 다보 인제 바다 공장이 메바 남가 랭이데가 다도 바 임게 되니 토바든데 다와 모도 임바제도 롱기 저와 저와 시당 담발라서 바다 임게 되니 롱미 잠발 롱아 자바 임바제도 포와 라네 홍암 이루라 된 라마 이담기 투갈 포도 임게 되니 최기 포와 남제 라마 오사 자와 임바제도 상계기사 양 내내 보신 잡에 매진도 잡 매진도 자 바라 도바 임게 되니 장족의 생활하는 타다나 바 임바제도 남다간에 나게 버리는 뭐 다른 상계기신 도바 쇼 라서 so what to do then I'm going to thanking okay laso okay yes laso so now this is the complete we got a transmission in this the additional chapter actually also have the very actually all the meanings are same as I mentioned but there are actually little different meaning it says very more kind of like detailed explanation that what were mentioned not there. So now I'm going to read the transmission of the Tenging. Tenging means the essence of the teaching, isn't it? Essence of the teaching basically composed by the one of the great the disciple of Jiten Sumgon, Naljapa Shedang Dorje. It is very interesting story. In short, actually he was a great scholar of Sagyapa. Naljapa. His earlier, when he was in the Sagyapa lineage, his name is Kyobpa Dukyamo. Kyobpa means the scholar, he's very Kyobpa, very scholar one, Then when Jigten Sumgon, his reputation was so spread, almost not the world, but at least everywhere part of the Tibet and Himalayan region, so-called actually all the mountains are Drikung, that kind of reputation was there, So then when Jigten Sumgon was very popular, and as we human beings, of course, we all get jealousy and things like that, And then since he is a very great scholar, he wants to go and want to debate with Jigten Sumgon, he went there to actually, with wrong intention, he want to defeat Jigten Sumgon, he want to win, But somehow, then when he went there, then he saw Jigten Sumgon as a like real, in a form of Buddha, And Jigten Sumgon, Changa Sherab Jungne and Changa Thakpa Jungne, the two disciples, he saw as a real, like the Buddha's kind of the Shariputra and Mongolgiputra. So he totally lost the intention of debate of Jigten Sumgon, and then also before he asked all the questions that whatever he has in mind, Jigten Sumgon answered to all them, So then he became his disciple like that. I don't know what we say like that. I don't know what Sakya say like that. I don't know whether they say. There's another big questionable, I should maybe give any chance to get meeting any Sakyapa. So is it true, that story? Maybe. Let's see. Okay, now I'm going to read the transmission of the Taichen Tenpe Yingpo. It's very nice text. Again, the Taichen Tenpe Yingpo talks about the fivefold Mahamudra, and starting from the, as I mentioned in earlier, the four foundation, starting from the four foundation, reflecting on the precious human life, reflecting on the impermanent, reflecting on the cause and effect, reflecting on the kind of defeats of the samsara, So the four are very important. It's starting from there. Okay, now I'm just going to read. Gyagaragadomaya Anna Nidesha Sadana Chidaya Nama Bogo Tavidan Tambe Boja was in the Museum of Sadhu Raja Joge Domaja Kanyamato Namri, the Samyanga Joge Davigan, the Zolo Gavia, son of them, the Yazondo Yotanjo Zano Timedo, and Bedo Regidan Lamre, Tempe English. Namdadon Domba, the Jidon Lamid in the Lomba, Chodajidan Lajan, Mayatan, Jong and the body done so. Pepejoga Simjing, and Ajinam document, you go married 10 years old, and Dabrazam and the body, Danam, Kibo, American, and go visit Javaga and Madonna. Sadon and Ajibo, and by then you on there, one of the Zunders, and I'm working on one thing I'm telling you, women, that you want the son of the Langatina, you are the Rangamid, you want to go on the Zon, you are in the Lama, 사람으로 가지고 다지 제보 동안다기도 도경라면 난 관전 답에 야만아 결과는 이제 대 보서만 대한 로장 임보죠 남배행 뭐 파윤 돈도 외대 보정연 보동 바리동 자남다 정랑이 조선보동 라라미다 윤흥에 대한 연화제 조동도 여다들이 냐랑도 미동에 면함에 중 사원중에다 예스민장도 진발라 전제에 대한 도전이 제게 달라데 메린제 나랑게 베글라 중앙에 제 군자 전동 조장게 도도에 zambe 주변게 와교 사도연데 남다 모조가 상가자나 여유라마 갈라간데 바요남게 당연히 소소 대전나전 대전전 개전게 사게 장전전 삼절 대화 보진 개별도 대지를 소자 재단 배진게 심자매 방 쇼지 방당랑도 배서는 주면은 여와줘도 저는 양다 정용 몽다배 방 이래서 와대서 와den게 양랑대 버 요sem장 함을 남제 제도 요도도 저도 제조 당연 걸라지 도연차 와본농아 여선 남도 연바대 바요 절문도 배요 다게 겨도면서 전도도 사저 남주 바로 진도 동어제 남주 방제 남주도 반한진다 저러면 되진 저 반한진도 삼단시라 바로 진대로 랑조 동조 대진 제단남도 대게 연단데 도도 매만도 연도 있는데 연나기로 당당도 대보죠 공조대도 고나 이란다 고대도 사당에 배저 연결대로 만든 거 로브라다 임업에 담재견이 되더라 제된다 당다베다 사주 남도 담여섬다도 성관이 연대는 저도는 연단데 라도는 뭐야 투당농저 왕제된 바 고도 공주원 대명문도 맨도도 남에 섬에 메다 담배저 도망자와 양나는 아반데 공주원 대연도 경한데 들여서 동동남대는 그동담아 담배이 뭐가 답종은 남다 지진다베고 예전 보다다 남게 원님의 조교는 메자린제 점점에서는 강이 말인제 내달라 강중 대교 대교로도 나란게 도종주는 장주람된 단도사 진여 상당 도교하게 대녀로 대명오면 대라대라면 무릎 사와 왕계가 보다 상향계도 고정도 보다 라고 에메 나좀 템브라지오메메 미단 남도 상계교도 남아게 남들도 맞아가 개범민도 제메기로 남다게 남다 종조 세계 제면도 또와 남도 진배도 동에도 녀모 이제 되면도 연다고도 남겨도 투나지도 장조인보다 사당 남도 미난양하다 장조제도 제상계도 노노소메 바도자는 그래서 대다에면 적어도 남자교도 남겨진 저당 농조 가교도 고도면도 이제 노당 다비는 가야 다들 광교 자매 이제는 저저 도주면제 만다요 남겨진 조다진테나 론도와 견자매 버저 갈롱도교 단저 명한다 잠모 조교 지람 되고 여러 개회 간용도와 군다방 예된장게 담자견도 저 대전 담배 인보 중 제원 남자 버저 당도지 이제 먼저 소 Okay, that's the transmission of that Techen Teming Yingbo. Usually in our Drikung Kagyu, we said there is the Tenging Gongjik. Of course, there are many teachings, but the Tenging and Gongjik, these two, the texts considered as a very the important text, you know. So therefore, as the Lord Rinpoche asked me to give this the two transmissions, so that was the completed. And then, yeah, this is actually very, maybe in the future also it's very good to, so since the Lord Rinpoche, he has a great knowledge and his English is perfect, and he can explain very nicely, and then also I'm sure in the future if you go through this, the text also will be very wonderful text, you know, talking about all the importance of the fivefold Mahamudra, starting from the kind of for foundation, then up to the Mahamudra and also the Vajrayana, the practice, everything detailed mentioned. Of course, there are commentary that composed by the Najolpa Jedang Dorje. I think it's already translated, the Khenchen Rinpoche. Its book is coming, you said, no? Soon coming, no? That one, no? I think somebody is working in Munich, actually. Yes. Khenchen Rinpoche, they are working on that, yeah?
So this... the heart essence or quintessence of the Mahayana teachings, Tekchen Tenpen Ningpo, as Khenchen Rinpoche said, you know, is considered like Gongchik is one important, most important, and then Tekchen Tenpen Ningpo is the other one. Gongchik kind of presents the fundamental understanding, and then the Tekchen Tenpen Ningpo, the one that was just transmitted, is, you could say, like stages of the path.
Practice level, yeah.
Practice oriented. So right now in Germany, they are translating various texts related to this. Of course, what we call the root text, the actual verses, and then they are also translating several commentaries. One brief commentary has already been published a few years ago. And then the other thing is to call attention is Khenchen Nimagyosen Rinpoche has recorded a set of teachings on this this particular text, and the Germany project has been releasing those videos. I have been involved in a secondary way, just checking the subtitles that are in English. So Khenchen Nimagyosen taught in Tibetan, and then it's all subtitled into German and English. So those videos are being released. The first set of videos already released, available to anyone who wants to. We'll send to everyone who has registered the link to those video recordings, and more recordings are coming out. Yeah. So now we're about to take a short break to get ready here, especially at the temple, to set up the feast offerings. And a couple of you have to go pick up food. So those of you who need to go pick up food, you can go ahead and do that. And I thought that before we actually break, I'm going to read the Heart Essence of Mahayana, the root text in English.
Good.
Just kind of quickly, just kind of will be beneficial. But if you need to go pick up things, you can go now. The basic transmission you already got, so don't worry. Fear of missing out, right? But those of you who are not yet needing to run to places and do things, you can just stay. It's just a few minutes. It's not a very long text, so I'll read what we have so far in English. The quintessence of the Mahayana teachings: homage to all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Search for a qualified guru to show you the true path with untiring devotion. Practice according to the instructions of the teacher. Make offerings with material possessions, service, and practice. Abandon dwelling in laziness and instead learn and reflect on that which is meaningful. Having found the profound instructions, abide alone in isolated places. In that place of perfect qualities, cultivate diligence. Sitting straight and cross-legged, settle into and manifest attentiveness. As an antidote to life's distractions, reflect on impermanence and death. This present life is gained by means of meritorious actions. Such freedoms and endowments are difficult to acquire again in the future. Things do not occur by chance. They come from the force of past karma. Positive and negative causes result in happiness and suffering respectively. Hell beings, hungry ghosts, as well as animals and humans, demigods and gods, whatever we are born as, we have to suffer hot and cold, hunger and thirst, mental downness, birth, death, and so forth. We are oppressed by the sufferings of wars and fights and death and rebirth. The refuge of wandering beings, the source of the unsurpassed teachings, is the three jewels. They are the constant refuge, the grantor of protection, the precious treasure. The teachings of the three yanas are in the excellent vows. The essence of the precepts, their benefits, how they are obtained and lost, was taught by the Buddha. For the mind of relinquishment and antidotes, there are the 7 types of vows. From a completely pure source, develop the resolve to be free. Training without transgressions is the basis of all qualities. When impaired, repair them. Know the details of obtaining, losing, and the duration. Do not desire mere higher rebirths, Shravaka or Pratyeka levels, but only perfect Buddhahood. For this, there is the indispensable seed of bodhicitta, from a conception of self that considers sentient beings to be I, perceiving their kindness with gratitude, love, and compassion for them is born. From these arises the stainless precious bodhicitta. It arises from causes that are both innate and to be brought forth. With the motivation of compassion, completely reach Buddhahood for the welfare of others. Increasing one's intention to attain that, the engagement mind is the cause of virtue. Understand the levels and so forth, qualities, paths, and the vows of aspiration and engagement. Receive them from a learned guru who has a lineage from the Buddhas. The benefits and advantages of this are equal to the limit of space. Perfecting the accumulations, practicing the Mahayana, and vanquishing the 3 obscurations, become a sublime child of the Buddhas through bodhicitta. This will transfer you to the fortunate and blissful states and becoming victorious. Therefore, gather accumulations, recollect, increase, and purify. Never abandon sentient beings, abandon and adopt the four dharmas. This is talking about abandon the four dark dharmas and adopt the four bright dharmas. The ethical discipline of holding the vows, acting for the sake of sentient beings, and collecting virtuous dharmas, hold these together. When a forbidding, afflictive emotion happens, it is at the root level, and when it is a middling defilement, it is a branch infraction. Whether ordinary beings, those on the path, or those outside of it, accomplish their welfare. From the point of proclamation, if there is impairment, repair it. Abandon attachment to sensory pleasures, gain and honor. Enjoy seclusion and the complete purity of body, speech, and mind. Conscientiousness is the source of all the excellent ways of conduct. Do not undermine one's own abilities, but cultivate diligence instead. There are the 10 paths, 6 perfections, and the 4 attractive qualities of bodhisattvas. Abandon the 10 ways and perfectly practice the 10 paths. The paramitas of generosity, ethical discipline, and patience, diligence, meditative concentration, and wisdom lead to the higher realms, material possessions, attractive form, and great charisma. Quiescent, complete liberation, and the fruit of exalted qualities perfected. With purposeful generosity, pleasant speech, acting in accordance with needs and in conformity, they become fit vessels and develop faith. Their welfare is thus achieved, and the result is obtained. For the attainment of all-knowingness, dedicate virtues from your own actions and from rejoicing. The virtues accumulated throughout the 3 times in samsara and nirvana, when dedicated, this will be accomplishments. When not dedicated, this will be exhausted. Misguided dedication ripens accordingly. Thus, dedicate to the attainment of all-knowingness. In this way, go beyond the worldly to achieve the pure bhumis, traversing the 10 and attaining the fruit of the 3 incalculable eons. In this supreme vehicle of great bliss, those who make exertions will be quickly delivered, endowed with the tantras and established in the potency and power of profound meaning. The word empowerment means to cleanse and to fill, and there are 4 stages to it. Without this source which fulfills desires and needs, there will be no siddhis. After receiving this, keep the 3 samayas that are not to be transgressed. The general root and branch samayas and others that are to be guarded, if kept, the source of happiness and benefit; if damaged, the cause of lower realms. Meditate on the essence of the teachings through the numerous topics of liberation. The thoroughly pure supreme upaya, the embodiment of the great essence, wish-fulfilling jewel center of the sky, free from extremes, the flowing river of non-duality, and the inexhaustible precious treasure. This precious mind, possessed of great loving kindness and compassion, is as vast as space. Whatever arises from this becomes this. Whatever is dedicated to this obtains this. The meaning of all tantras is this embodiment of the primordial co-emergence, born from bodhicitta with stability, clarity, and purity. Accomplish the essential nature with secrecy and rouse the exalted mind with mantras. Without this, there will be no siddhis. With it, the fruit can be obtained. The root of siddhis, the king of empowerments, perceive the Guru as an actual Buddha, the treasury of the 3 kayas. Having undivided highest respect and affection for the Guru, abiding firmly in the 3 places. As a blind person graced with vision, you will be completely liberated and awakened, primordially birthless like the sky, unconditioned, pervasive, vajra-like, unchanging, and always existing. Completely pure, co-emergent, the truth of Mahamudra. When realized, there is complete freedom. When fixated, then one is shackled in samsara. Poison is elixir, afflictive emotions are wisdom. Discordant faults are purified. This, the sky treasury that fulfills all needs and desires. The 6, the 4, and all factors of awakening will be perfected. The bhumis and paths traverse, reaching non-abiding nirvana. What are called bodhisattvas are revealed as bliss-gone Buddhas. Those who have perceived the truth but lack diligence will, in the bardo of luminosity, know what to accept and abandon. Ultimate truth, pervasive peace, free from conceptuality and space-like, From this Dharmakaya, Sambhogakaya, and various emanations manifest according to all that are desired. Without conceptuality, like a wish-fulfilling jewel, a stream of deeds, free from extremes, all-knowing, unconditioned, primordial wisdom, seeing, perfected in the 10 powers, fearlessness, and unshed qualities, adorned with the major and minor marks like the moon reflected in water, spontaneous, exalted activities arising continuously. This is the essence of the oral transmissions, sutras, tantras, commentaries, and quintessential instructions, a collation of the profound that brings together the ground, path, and fruit. By virtue of expounding this, may wandering beings infinite as space attain all-knowingness, the state of the twofold purity. The quintessence of the Mahayana teachings was composed by Ngoje Repa Shedang Dorje.
Lasso. Now we have to make a tsok food. That is the traditional way. Nowadays usually I like that style of. I just came to that. Whenever you do tsok, that's a lunch together. That's the actually real tsok. The most of that's supposed to be the traditionally earlier time. All the yogis or yogini they eat the food, and then after that they usually now traditionally they make a song after they get drink, and then also they sing a song. That kind of things are actually used to be happening early, the yogini style, no? Yes. Isn't it?
Yeah. So we will take a short break to prepare, and they are bringing the food as well. And so if you need to get some quick nourishment, cafe over there, not this restaurant, but the cafe in the corner, little things to bite, because not immediately we're eating, we have a practice to do. Changchu sem chorim poche ma ge pa nam ge gyurche ge pa nyam pa me pa ya go ne gong du pe